Eventide Island was home to one of the best shrine quests in the whole of Breath of the Wild. You were tasked with placing 3 orbs on 3 different platforms, all while an island full of monsters hunt you down. The catch was, you had to finish it with none of the armor, weapons, or food that you had previously found. But in Tears of the Kingdom, it's almost easy. There's still waves of enemies, but you keep all your tools to beat it with. There's maybe slightly more enemies, but the challenge has been gutted of its core. But that all changes here. I'm going to attempt to take down every enemy on Eventide Island with only what I can gather. That means I have to throw everything into this hole. Weapons, bows, ingredients. Also, I have to eat all my food right here, right now. So after talking to Sesame to start the quest, we're off. My first plan is to initially collect all the materials I don't have to fight for from the island. These include all these bananas, some boat oars, and a knight sword. Also, this cool cannon shield, which surely can't backfire. My first target is the base I'm nicknaming the Tower Base, which isn't that creative, but I prefer it to the official name of Toronbo Beach North Monster Forces. So with that, let's get to fighting. But even with me knocking out that first bokoblin, I still... This is probably a good time to mention that every time I game over, I don't just get up from my later save and keep going. I have to restart the challenge. Although that doesn't include gathering materials before fighting because, who would want to do this over again? So going into the second attempt, I wanted to be a little bit more careful. What we know is that there are 2 archers. Yep, right there. They both shoot ice arrows and are going to make it pretty difficult to fight the rest of the base. The other enemies in the camp seem pretty straightforward individually, so I'm not going to worry about them too much here. It seems that in order to fix these problems, I have a pretty simple plan in place. Sneak past the main tower to make it to the first archery lookout. Take him out. Then take him out. And then just proceed as normal through the tower. Reaching the top of the tower to claim my prize of 10 bomb fruits. The rest of this run is pretty unremarkable. And after another attempt that went pretty poorly, I had a bit more information on the second base to work with. It was time to form my plan for conquering Skull Settlement. Just like the tower base, there's an archery problem here. The archer right here has some lightning fruit. This is obviously going to be a problem, but I foresee these 3 to be the main issue here. All the Zolfos that could attack me from range with its tongue, and obviously with its spear, that should be a threat not to be taken lightly. The 2 black bokoblins are also going to be a problem. The main problem here is that it's not easy to isolate them. Also, there's this guy here, but I'll just give him a little kick and he'll be out of the way. My first move was to inflict as much damage as I could, with 1, 2, and 3 bomb arrows to the dome. I then finished off the archer, who was light work for a guy like me, before I finished off the other bokoblins with my cannon shield. Oh yeah, and I got that last guy too. Poor bloke didn't even know what hit him. I could now move on to that third base, called simply Fort Fortress. This is where I decided to take a different approach. Yeah, I'm not really the best engineer or pilot, but I got in and then they all just stopped following me. Although this attempt ended with just a simple swipe from a moblin. I tried one more attempt to beat the camp with nothing more than brute force, but it was again the black moblin that was the problem here. This final interaction with the monster forces does inspire me though. I know that there are a few archers up top of the fortress, with the ground crew down bottom to round out the enemy camp. These enemies come cascading out once the first bokoblin has released the metal spiky ball. Now these enemies are strong, and they all come at you at once, giving me a few options. But before we start thinking of solutions to this, I need to get to that base again. With attempt 4 going... let's not talk about it. With attempt 5 not going so great either. But once we got back to the fortress, I had formulated my plan. You see that spiky ball? Why not just take it from him and use it against him? And why not try to push him into the water that's next to us? Well, try to do that. And the archers? Well, they were not really a threat. Just run them down and whack them. So with the third base out of the way, there was only one last base to conquer. I let Sesame know that I'd beaten the third base, and he told me about the final frontier, the pirate ship's den. The pirate ship's den is home to many a scary foe. Several archers line the wall, along with a soldier at the top of the ship's mast, This is accompanied by a few foot soldiers around the inside of the cave, with the big bad in this base, Boss Bokoblin. This was going to be tough. I did my mandatory brute force check, but that Boss Bokoblin just hits hard. So after having a bit of fun on the previous bases, I had to think outside the box for this one. My mind was racing. Was there anything I left behind from the other bases that could be useful? Trampolines? Nah, probably not. The glider? Well, you saw how that worked out with the fortress. No, I have a better idea. I use the power of automation to bring these monsters down. All I have to do is attach this fire breather to this drone, and voila. The perfect Moblin Masher. Another trademark, by the way, so don't steal that. So let's give it a spin, huh? Okay, didn't make it. Backup plan. I should do the same thing I've done for every other fight. We isolate easy fights with blue bokoblins, take down the archers, and have the boss bokoblin throw someone overboard, and finally, use every weapon I have to take him down. So done. I completed the challenge in only 8 attempts. Or was it? No, it was 8. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.